All right. So this one's a debate between Andrew Wilson and a panel of women who are very convinced that chivalry should survive, even though they also want total equality. Yeah, it's that classic paradox. I don't need a man, but why didn't you open my door? Andrew's about to point out the contradiction most people conveniently ignore, that you can't have both equality and preferential treatment at the same time. So let's dive in.
As a man, it's better to be the one who's adored than being the adorer. So, yeah, I don't know if there's any disagreements on that, but we pretty much already talked
I would
about
just say, just because this is what I learned in school, biologically speaking, like even like if you go back way back in the day, like the 1500s or whatever, it's usually like the guy seeking the woman, like even
in the
like
1500s.
like yeah, or like in like other species like
Pretty sure
birds.
they had like arranged marriages back
No,
then.
like I'm saying,
No, she. I mean,
Is she right?
you are
Okay.
correct.
like
But
the
the
birds,
reason-
like birds are always like doing a dance to like prove to like the woman that they're worthy of being their spouse. Like so a lot of species, it's the male trying to court the female.
Well,
to
no.
come-
I mean, in the animal kingdom, for instance, there's one male lion and he humps all the chicks in the pride. I mean, that's just the way
Well,
it
I'm
works.
not saying all, but there's some.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not very comparable
Yeah.
to say like behavior in animals. I can give you behavior in tons of animals where the women are basically just disposable to the men, like nonstop. They're just disposable. But when it comes to humans, you're talking about the 1500. You make a valid point. Women or men did used to be the pursuers of women more than anything until women demanded equality. And so what's happened is chivalry has continued for actually no good reason. And now men have realized, well, wait a second, why the fuck are we doing chivalry if there's equality? So if you do chivalry, there's supposed to be additional authority, right? So we're protecting women, we're doing this for women. Women are put in a status, they have a certain status in society. They have less authority, but they have a higher status. But now they want equal status. So it's like, well, if you have equal status, what the fuck are we doing chivalry for? That's stupid, right? That doesn't make any sense. Why buy the flowers and the candy and do the pursuing and this and that if there's no additional status? Like, what's the point?
So you're I'm not bad. I'm not.
Chivalry.
I can't say it either. Okay.
Chivalry.
Yeah, what he
Chivalry.
said. So you do that just so you can have control over someone? That's what you're saying? If you didn't have control,
Well, if
then
you think
why
about
would
it, like,
you
That's
be
the
women are the
opposite of the correct way to look at it. I'll explain it to you. So if women have a certain status in society, okay, you say, well, it's control. I'm like, well, not really, because ultimately they didn't have to fight the wars. They didn't have to do any of that shit, right? They didn't have to do any of it. So they actually had a higher social status than men did. They were the first ones who get on the lifeboats, the women and the children. The men stay on and go down with the ship. They were the ones, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I can give you example after example after example, which puts women at a protected status. So they actually have a higher status than men historically. I would consider that a higher status. Like, if you have to die before I have to die, I think that means that I have the higher social status. If you have to die in my stead, your status is higher than mine.
Wow.
But if you remove that and say now our status is equal across the board, then what the hell am I dying for?
Yeah, see, that's the part nobody ever talks about. Back then, men pursued women because the system made it worth doing. There were clear roles, clear hierarchies. It all made sense in that context. But let's not romanticize it. This wasn't some candlelit fairy tale where guys were writing poetry under the moon. In the 1500s, marriage was a business deal. Property, alliances, not butterflies and feelings. Men chased women because that's how society worked, not because they were biologically programmed to adore them. And when equality came along, that old system lost its logic. Andrew's right. In a world where everything's equal, chivalry starts to look more like performance. And this whole control narrative, it's tired. Real control would have been forcing women into roles. Chivalry was voluntary. Men risked and provided because women represented continuity, the next generation. If it was really about control, it wouldn't have been women and children first on the Titanic. It would have been every man for himself. Men weren't privileged, they were expendable. So if we now share equality in rights and risks, we can't keep expecting men to carry the same sacrifices for free.
I don't get it.
So you're telling me that you're not in the military because of women can be in the military now?
Well, no, women can't go into combat in the military.
Well, they can be in fields of the military, whether it's...
Yeah.
So you're telling me they can't die because they're not in combat?
I agree, they're good at signing paychecks, but they're not in the military doing all the bang combat, blow people up stuff. That's
but neither are you. So why is it fair for you to ask?
Yes, men are doing that.
Men, not you particularly. So why is it fair for you to ask?
We're not talking about me. We're not talking about you. We're talking about men, and we're talking about women.
Isn't there a hierarchy to chivalry for everyone though? Like, men protect women, women protect elderly and children. You know what I mean? So like, if something happens and all the men got obliterated in here,
what do men get? What do men get?
What are we talking
Basically,
about?
because
why should they get something?
women are the ones who have.
Hang on, let her answer. Let her answer.
Women are the ones who.
What do men now get? I can tell you what they got. What they got was chaste, virtuous, virgin women. That's what they got. So hang on. What they got was chaste, virtuous, virgin women. Okay, that's what they got. And the status of those women was to be high and protected. And if any man were to come across and do things untoward towards women, you would challenge them to duels and fight to the death in the street and literally kill other men over the fact that they besmirched a woman's honor. Right? That's a really high tier of social status.
So
what do men get now? What do we get?
I want them to fight.
Why do they have to get something though? Is chivalry only necessary if there's a transactional thing, or can you just be chivalrous because it's
just creates
respectful to the general society?
So I'll answer your question. Yes, it is. In this case, it would be transactional because you're just asking for a higher sense of social status that you don't actually deserve. You're not giving anything for it. Like, what are you giving to actually have the door open for you? What are you giving for men to go down with the ships and you to get the lifeboat? Like, what is it that you're giving now? You're not giving anything. So you're just demanding a higher form of social status, and men are like, no, that's not equality. That's the opposite of equality.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You can't keep asking men to be protectors when the reward, family stability, loyalty, admiration, has disappeared. Today, a man opens a door and gets called patronizing. When you remove the incentive, you remove the behavior. That's just economics, not sexism. Almost everything in human society is transactional. Friendship, marriage, jobs. The difference is that good transactions feel mutual. When women say men should be chivalrous, but men get nothing in return except scorn, that's not chivalry. That's unpaid labor with guilt tips. Equality isn't about being treated the same. It's about being valued for what you bring. And if you remove what you bring, you can't expect the same rewards.
Do you want me to actually answer?
Yeah.
Well, let's say in this hypothetical boat situation where we're all going down with the ship and we have to decide, because I'm not planning on having children, I would probably just stay back and let other people go. Like, I think it just depends on person to person, if that makes sense. Like, I am totally fine with being disposable, not having legacy, so I wouldn't need to go above other people that care to do those things.
So why should you get chivalry?
Well, because you should be respectful. Like, I would be chivalrous to an elderly or a child.
Why couldn't I treat you just like other women treat you, which is not in a chivalrous way? Isn't that equality?
Speaking from a biological perspective,
hang on,
women are the ones
let her answer. The sisterhood doesn't
because I'm bouncing off of what she's saying. Because I
know, but can you let her answer my question before you chime in? So back to this. Why do you deserve chivalry? Why?
Well, this is probably going to get a whole can of worms, but I do think that there's a physical aspect of a man's physically stronger than me. I'm probably physically stronger than most elderly people and children, so that's my general hierarchy, but everyone
Why
obviously...
does that mean that you deserve chivalry? I don't get it.
Well, because, in a duel, for example, why would I fight my own duel?
Yeah, but why should anybody fight your duel for you?
Because there should be a general code of chivalry in society. If there was
Why? That's just begging the question. It should be because it should be because it should be. It's like, why though? Like,
because
why,
we're all humans on this earth.
If you have a
trying
higher
to,
social status where you're not allowed to punch women because they have this social status in society, that's chivalrous, right? If they hit you, you can't hit them back. Well, that's gone with equality. When you demand egalitarianism and equality, if men hit men and the social expectation is that they get hit back, that's going to be the same exact thing for women now. That's real equality. That's what you're demanding. is that the social status go to that. So why is it if you hit a man, you don't deserve to get hit back? Tell me why. Give me a real reason why.
Well, because the man would probably be significantly stronger than me. The level of damage done is different.
So you're saying that if weaker men attack stronger men, which is always the case, there's always one weaker than the other.
A stronger man.
Not justified. The stronger man's not justified in punching him back. That doesn't sound ridiculous to you?
No, they can punch each other back, but someone else should defend that man that can't defend himself, because that's chivalrous.
He attacked. So if you attack a man, right, you can't say, oh, but I'm weaker. You're equal. Do you know what equality means? Equality means even if you're weaker and you attack someone stronger, who cares? You get the same consequence because it's equal.
I guess that's true. I'm more about pro-equity than equality. So you're right, I misspoke. We should all just be allowed to punch whoever.
Equity, when you're talking about
Let's just
the
all
box,
punch each other for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
You get a punch. You get a punch.
What do you
Equity
mean?
is bringing up the same problem.
No, because you're...
I'm so confused.
Okay, let's backtrack. Then I'm dumb and define equity versus equality for me, because I don't see how they're the same thing.
Well, don't you guys always use the box argument?
The what
right?
argument?
It's not that a shorter person, equality is that the shorter person is as tall as the taller person. Equity would be if you're both looking over the fence, the shorter person can't see, you put a box down so that the shorter person can stand in the box, and now both of you can see over the fence.
Okay, we'll go with that example.
Do you agree that that's a good explanation or descriptor for equity?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not equality then, right? Why shouldn't I get the same size box?
Yeah, that's why I said you're right, and I believe in equity over equality.
So what you're doing is demanding that there be a social class based on the fact that you're not as good as other people, or you don't think you are.
Yeah, that's true. I think that we should protect other people and help each other.
Yeah.
You know, you should always help how you
and
would
so
want to be
what
treated.
Min says is, well, screw that. That's a violation of the social contract. You demanded equality. You said that you wanted political equality. You said that you wanted equality in the military. You say that you want equality in all social categories, but now you demand this thing called equity, which is saying, well, actually, even if we are equal, we're still at disadvantage from you, and so we still need further things given to us, which now it's not equal then. Now it's you're a perpetual victim class. So it's like you got to make up your mind.
But were people really asking for equality, the equal amount of everything, or were people asking for the opportunity to pursue rights that they didn't have?
Okay, let's pause there. This whole we should protect the weaker side thing sounds noble, but it's not equality. That's just special pleading. Real equality means same rules, same consequences. No exceptions, no matter your strength. Historically, men took the risks: war, defense, hard labor, while women were protected because they offered something vital: reproduction, stability, the next generation. That was contribution-based status, not moral entitlement. And this ties directly into the equity versus equality mess we keep hearing. Equality means the same rules, the same opportunities. Equity tries to guarantee the same outcomes. And that's where everything breaks. Because the moment you demand extra consideration just because you feel disadvantaged, you're not leveling the field anymore. You're building a new hierarchy. That's exactly what Andrew's calling out. You can't claim total equality in politics, in the military, in society, and then ask for extra boxes to stand on when it suits you. Helping each other is good, of course it is, but building systems around victimhood? That's not progress, that's regression. If you want equality, you accept the same rules. Period.
Okay, so, rights equal to who?
Legal rights equal for everyone of age, race,
so that
sex.
would be equal, right? So when you ask for
But that's
political
equal-
rights,
that's
you're asking
equal
for the
opportunity.
same political rights I have, right?
The opportunity to engage in those political rights if I want to, but if I don't want to, I also have that choice not to.
And that's exactly what I can do, right?
Yeah.
So that's equality. So you're equal. So when you demand equity, you're actually demanding that there be a social class, there be a social class system, and that you be part of a social class which is now a protected social class. Men say, well, wait a second, that's not equality. That's not what you were demanding. So why is it that we should give you the equity when we don't get any additional authority? Why? That's not fair.
I guess you don't have to, but chivalry being transactional is kind of a dick move. So I guess you just should be.
Great argument. I think it's kind of a bitch move to request that people give you social status when you don't deserve it. Like, what do you do to deserve this social status exactly, other than you just want it?
I don't know if most people are demanding a social status, though. I think they're demanding equality to
What is
pursue.
chivalry? Chivalry is the expectation that you have certain social statuses based on the fact that you're a female.
So there it is. If you want equality, you accept the same rules. Period. You can't keep asking for protection while claiming independence. You can't hold both sides of the deal. And that's the part nobody wants to say out loud, but it's true. Let that sink in. If this ruffled some feathers or made you nod in agreement, hit that like button, smash subscribe for more debate breakdowns, and drop your thoughts in the comments.